Hello and aloha. Today is Friday. My time says 11:25. Today is the 9th, I believe. And 9th of March. This would be my last video on the topic I said that last time. I'm going to have to introduce myself, my resume. Why am I an elder? And why is an elder required, really? There is usually three types of belief, three types of faith convictions. The first one is to believe to the unseen God. Nobody's seen it. Almost everyone on the planet believes in him. That's very easy. Now this God will find an embodiment, a manifestation, such as Jesus Christ or Rama, Muhammad, or today Baha'u'llah. It will become more difficult. There are people, because it goes right down to something visible, something tangible, people cannot agree with that. Many of them they don't accept. It takes time. So to believe in the prophet and manifestation of God is the second level of conviction. The third one is the hardest one. Is that a person who has to believe in himself that he is the messenger of God. No one is going to tell to God that he is God. He has to find it all by himself. It's like in a stage of a Tarzan in the jungle. As he grows up among the monkeys, he finds out he's not monkey. He's different. Prophets of God are just like that. They find out they're different. And then at one point they get that total recall as who they are. Elders are not prophets of God by any chance, but they are in the same category. They have to know it themselves. Nobody's going to tell them. They have come to fix the problem. How could a problematic word be able to distinguish him? Once my nephew in Vancouver was saying that the fact, he said to me, uncle, that they are opposing you, that is why you should be here as an elder. If these people were able and capable of understanding an elder or realizing, comprehending, they would not need an elder. You are coming to bring them to that comprehension as an elder, to set the standard. Very wise word, he said. So, somehow a person like me, who have written many books, and it's on the internet, and have the money even to publish it, and he doesn't want to publish it, I don't really care. I like this. I don't want to be known. But nevertheless, I have to come. Why Baha'u'llah says he's Baha'u'llah is the manifestation of God, or Jesus Christ, I am Son of God? Is this kind of not contrary to being humble and humility? Not really. Because there are many false teachers that they're dividing peoples, they're claiming. There is no way left. But Baha'u'llah, Jesus Christ, says that I am the one you're looking for. He has to claim, because his claims create a center in the middle and gathers all the people to be united. This center is for the unity. If I do not say I am not an elder, then there is no legitimacy for the universal laws of justice or any Baha'i in the world to claim and fix the situation, because universal laws of justice and Baha'is are not capable, are not allowed to interpret. Only the elders or the future guardian that they can interpret. And without the interpretation in this authority, once it's accepted, it will not be legal to form a universal laws of guardianship by people. Because if some people, they come and do it, another group, they're going to come and say the same thing. In the Baha'i faith, Abdul-baha says it's very easy to create another universal laws of justice. He says that the Baha'is, they disunite and create two universal laws of justices, they're both wrong. And how easy it is for American Baha'i, Iranian, some other 10 countries, they say that they just don't like this national, this universal, and these locals. We're creating our own local, our own national, and our own universal laws of justice exactly according to the book. The only difference we have is that we don't accept the other party, but there's no legitimate way for us to accept them. We're Baha'is, we're voting for these people to be the local, not those people. And these people, it would be the national or others. In that case, they're both wrong. Who can unite this under the title of eldership? Because this title allows to legally institute this institution. For this institution to say this universal laws of justice instituted in 963 is the one that God is intending. I hope it will be, but we have to see how they react. So far we know that based on the book they are not. Not they, as in the people. People are innocent. Member of universal laws of justice are just as innocent as anybody else. It's just this institution as it is not working. So is God crazy doing that to us? No. The whole plan of God, I told you that, is that by free will, He's coming to educate us and He wants to give us license. Every time He creates a test is to give you a license. After teaching so long by the Bab to Shoghi Effendi, it just makes sense for any teacher to know where the students are. So he says the handle of the cause to form the institution of universal laws of justice and the circumstances that I gave you. They had no other choice but do it. But it was a puzzle for them. Now we are in this situation. God simply wants to see from amongst the people, come people such as me, that they sit on that chair, empty chair called eldership, and they announce it, and they have the capacity, completely by learning from Baha'u'llah, to get where they are. I'm the teacher of the Baha'i school and the writing. I haven't really read books from other people. If I did, it was to find out where their mistakes are. Positively, I haven't read anything from them. So, if I come and tell you that, oh, I had dreams and visions, by the way, I had one very, very strange one last night from Baha'u'llah. But again, it's my experience. According to Baha'i faith, that is not any reason for you to accept it. And there are people that they have had dreams that I am from God. For example, my ex-wife, when we were in Iran, she said she has seen a dream that my head is as big in the cloud and I'm talking and the word of God comes out of my mouth and gets typed in the air. In the other dream that she had, that she she ascends to the sky among the clouds, and God tells her that Abbas is my son, but he has forgot his mission. I have given him all the weapons that is sword by different colors of light except the green. He gave the green sword to her to come and wake me up. She come down and tells me that, challenges me, and I told her, according to her dream, that you're a child, just go away. And then she hit me with that sword, and with the green color sword, and I fell down, and then I woke up and I went after my mission, understanding where I am. Other time, recently, it was 5-6 years ago, she said I was driving in the streets and I saw you were in the forest somewhere in BC, that you found a ring, a green ring, and you said, I found it. The green is that eldership. So I remember another Baha'i, these are the people that don't like me even, Zohre Afshar, she's in Thunder Bay. 20 years ago, she said to me that, Abbas, I had a dream that you are walking with Mr. Furutan, which is one of the hands of the cause, in Shiraz, and I asked him, what is Abbas doing with you? And he said to me that Abbas is the architect of the house of the Bab. He's going to build the house of Bab, which is the house of guardianship, because Bab means 5. That 5 elders I have to do. Those days in Thunder Bay 20 years ago, there's one guy lives in Fergus, half an hour from here. His name is Sirus Saburi, a very useless Baha'i. He called me and said that, can you help me with this and that? I was in Thunder Bay. I helped him out, and he started a business of his own later, and contractor. It happened that when he was leaving, he said, I had a dream that Baha'u'llah has become a contractor and he's come to the city of Guelph. I said, that's pretty strange, Cyrus. This is something going to happen, you'll see. I didn't know really. If I tell you I knew, I lie. It was 10 years after that incident in 1990, which was around year 2000, when I came down here. I knew him, I called him. I was at that time also excommunicated, but socially, not spiritually. So he started to talk to me, helped me out, got some places, and so you're going to be Guelph? I said, yeah, and Guelph is better. I don't want to go to Kitchener or Tawhidis. I'm going to stay here. And I don't know what it came. I told him, do you remember the dream that you had Baha'u'llah's coming to the city of Guelph and he's going to be a contractor? His face would turn red, blushed. I said, yeah, now you know the meaning. Because now you're responsible. So, several people. Even I remember this Mustafa, who is not, again, he's wasted his life, his spiritual life. When we were in Iran, he was the first person who became Baha'i by me, or, as a friend. He just came and joined. And he said one day he was in his house that he says Abdul-baha was at the door, or as he said, Abbas Afandi. I went and knocked the door in my dream. I woke up, I opened the door, and it was you behind the door. And many other dreams like this. I'm not going to get into detail. But I'm just trying to say to you that even other people have seen a strange dream. Even the English people here, they have told me very strange stuff. I'm not going to tell you more than this. But again, these things are kind of, it's like this, such an station as you're claiming to be an elder has to have more sound reason, that why should we not look at you as another Baha'i scholar? After all, there are scholars way greater than me in the Baha'i faith. I confess to that. Well, then what are they? If you're an elder, they should be too. You have to be something specific. I remember I had a call someday from somebody who said that he has seen my videos and he acknowledges my knowledge and immensity of the power of my analytic in what I do, and he enjoys it, but he's troubled with the fact that I say I'm an elder. And he said very politely, I have no reason to accept this. So, do you have any particular reason? Like, is your name written somewhere in the books? Has Baha'u'llah prophesied to you? Do you have some evidences? Because that is how I became Baha'i. I know Baha'u'llah is prophesied by Daniel, by Jesus Christ, by Muhammad, by all the prophets. And do you have any of those? I told him no. He says, well, it's kind of difficult. We just have to go with what you say. And I want to say, sure, I have no problem with it, but then in the back of my mind, I know such faculties and expertise or devotion as you have, others have had too. That is not a distinguishing difference between me and you. And you gotta give me something. I told him Baha'u'llah has given me a reason. It's indisputable. Actually, the biggest sword he has given to me. There is no doubt in the mind of any reasonable person that this is telling you that I am not like any of your scholars. They said, wow, what might that be? I said, do you believe in universal laws of justice? He said, yes. I said, do you believe he's infallible? He said, yes. I said, anything universal laws of justice says you accept to be infallible? He said, yes. I said, okay, somebody from the street, somebody, Joe Blow, he comes and brought you something that universal laws of justice has made mistakes. He said, well, the premises of this discussion is wrong. Because if you believe universal laws of justice is wrong, then Baha'u'llah, who has said they are right, Baha'u'llah is wrong too. Then the whole domino effect, Shoghi is wrong, everything else is wrong. I said, no, maybe you are wrong about thinking how infallible is the universal laws of justice. Infallibility of the universal laws of justice is not that of the Baha'u'llah or Abdul-baha or Shoghi Effendi. If they are that infallible, why is it written in the writing that Shoghi Effendi can actually veto their decisions? This is conferred upon them. It's that social, political decisions is a reason Baha'u'llah has given. It's more like a Supreme Court. It's the final decisions. But it's not infallible in that way, because Shoghi Effendi could actually fire one of the members. It is written they all have to obey Shoghi Effendi. This ought to tell you, if they're infallible, they would not to be obey Shoghi Effendi. It is not written that Shoghi Effendi is obey Abdul-baha. No, they're all equal. Not in the case of universal laws of justice. But in absent of those characters, such as Abdul-baha, Baha'u'llah, Shoghi Effendi, Bob, universal laws of justice is next in line and it's infallible. We all have to obey. But you find this fellow comes and proves it to you wrong. He said, yeah, that would be interesting. I said, have you seen anybody find mistakes in universal laws of justice before? He said, no, not that I know of. I said, universal laws of justice says the interpretations of the guardian of the cause of God is the statement of truth that cannot be varied. They are saying that you cannot change the word of Shoghi Effendi. After saying that, they go change the house of guardianship into the house of research with the entire different responsibility. They become a committee under them. Clearly says in the writing, the third building that has been built right now, it has to be called Darul Vilayah, the house of guardianship, but it is not called by them. So that's definite mistakes. But who has ever found anything like that in them? Nobody, except me. What does that tell you then? I have more knowledge than them. I am bigger than their brain. They are baby. I'm the babysitter. I'm not claiming I have their authority, or even I'm infallible. But even if they are as big as Baha'u'llah, still I'm the teacher. Didn't Bob go to the school? This is a baby. It's universal laws of justice needs training. As an institution, not as those individuals. This institution made mistakes. Who has found this mistake for the first time? It's me. It's very clear. If nobody else before me has found their mistake, then it's me. What do we do with all these writings? Abdul-baha says Shoghi Effendi has to have a son. He hasn't. Then there's differences between the Baha'is. This is a puzzle. Who has ever solved this puzzle of the successor of the Shoghi Effendi in the writing? Has there been any idea suggested by any Baha'is? No, except me. Then maybe I am that mailman who has a letter, a message for you, that you do not know it. That's really the reason. There's no other reason required for an elder to be an elder. Okay? But I haven't lived a life of laziness or stupidity or something like that. So there are things, for example, in writing, nobody has ever have found any answer for it. I'll give you one. I might give you two. Sheikh Ahmad Ahsa, he has a prophecy, he has a, they call it a puzzle, pertains to letter Vav, V-A-V, Vav. Vav is a word, V-A-V, but it is a letter. Just the V itself is a letter, but when you write it, it's Vav, like W. You can write on W, or you can say D-O-U-B-L-E, W, you know. So Vav is an actual word, but is the word that's a letter in the Arabic and Persian. He says that this Vav has to be completed for the completion of the revelation of the promised one. The explanation comes from him and given to Baha'u'llah, and Baha'u'llah says the first vav, which is the word of Sheikh Kazim anyways, Sheikh Ahmad. The word vav consists of two V, one in the beginning, one at the end, with the letter A in the middle. The first V, according to the Islamic mathematics, stands for 6, which is the 6th prophet, from Adam to Muhammad. Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, 6 of them. Then after the 6, which is the 6,000, after the V, A comes. A in Arabic is Aleph, but you can pronounce it as Alf. Then it becomes 1,000. That means after V there is a span of 1,000 years, which refers to the coming of the Bab. What about the V after? Because we said VAV. What about the other V has to be completed? No Baha'i has ever produced any answer to that, including Baha'u'llah has concealed it, because he wanted to give it to his elder when he comes, as a proof to those who are looking for excuses. But I've solved this puzzle, which Nader Said is killing himself to fix it in one of his writing in the magazines called Pajouashname. He has not. Others tried not. But I've solved it. In one place in the writing of Bab, in the chapter 6 called Shahada, in the book called the Tafsir Surah Yusuf, he mentions these 5 hidden, he says. Baha'u'llah refers to these 2 in the Adiyah Hazrat Mahbub. It's the book, all the Persians know it. At the first prayer at the very end, he says, As'aluka bika bihim wa Baha'u'llah al-khams. He says, I entreat you, God, to you, and to them, and to these 5, that you cleanse us. Ben yutahhirna an al-isyan. That you cleanse us from our mistakes. They try to explain what these 5s are. Hands of the cause, Abul Fazail. And now Fazil Mazandarani mentioned few names. And Ishtaq Khavari says that's wrong. This is something else. But he doesn't explain it. But when you look at it, the first wav was 6 messengers. The A in the middle is Bab. The second wav, the first one is Baha'u'llah, and the other 5 are these 5 elders. Matter solved. So the first wav is Adam to Muhammad, the second wav is Baha'u'llah and the 5 elders. Nobody's explained this. I'm the only one that's explaining to you. There are many, okay? I'll give you another one. He says, Bab in the Arabic Bayan, there is no name greater than the word Hakim Akhar, the last wise one, has been revealed, which the fate of God, the revelation of God, is on its place, on its track, for 8 times 19. Until then, you are worshipping the God. But after the passing of this, 8 times 9, you all will be veiled from the truth. Go read it. In the very first chapter of the Arabic Bayan. So, Hakim Akhar, why does he say Hakim Akhar? I know it, because by the mathematics it's 879. But then if you put the name Hussein, Ali, Muhammad, Abbas, and Shoghi, which are the Bab, Baha'u'llah, Abdul-baha, which his name is Abbas, and the Guardian, his name is Shoghi, you put the 5 names together, it exactly becomes 879. Hussein is 128, Ali is 110, Muhammad is 92, Abbas is 133, Shoghi is 416. Added together becomes 879, Hakim Akhar. It says, until this Hakim Akhar, which are these fives, which are the last wise one in the range of the revelation of the past, you are on the faith. But 8 times 19, he says, Hasht Wahid. Hasht means 8, Wahid means one unity. Until then, you are on the faith. وَكُنْتُمْ أَنْ سَيْرِهِ بَعْدَ مَا غَزَى مُحْتَجِبُونَ. Where you are from its path after passing of the time, you will be veiled from the truth. Okay, 8 times 19 is 152. He comes in 1844. 1844 plus 152 is 1996, the year I was excommunicated by the universal laws of justice. Until 1996, according to the date, you are on the track. The day you kicked me out of the faith and did not allow the poor Baha'is to come in contact to tell them the truth, you lost it, he says. There. I want to know who in the Baha'i faith, these big, big boys, which one of them have ever come any close? This is why. I've created a video for you that I'm going to attach it to this one, where I have explained on that video, I showed it in the video, I'm going to show you, I'll put the camera on my computer, that I have prepared the Book of the Bab, which are all in manuscripts. I have typed them, I have compared the 2 copies line by line, I have translated the Arabic parts, I have explained the difficult part of every things, and then I have found all the references Bab referring to the Islamic quotations, many of which he doesn't even say what they are. It simply continues. You have to be such an expert to know, this is not him talking. Who in the Baha'i faith dares to claim that among these 10,000 pages of the manuscript, he can read it, and as he reads it, says, this is not Bab, this is somebody else. Believe me, it's very, very, extremely hard to understand. People like the guy who has written this manuscript, the history of the Bab, Allame Hosseini, Abul Qasim Afnan, those are the experts in the Bab. They say that it's very difficult to understand. All of a sudden, within this writing, this particular word is not the word of the Bab. So that means you have to know all the Islam in your head to know, that's it. I don't have it, but somehow a divine hand takes me and says, check this one. And I check it, and lo and behold, and I found out it's not the Bab's. But then I go with the task to find where they are. I prepared about 10 books from the writing of the Bab. You can go on my website. You see the Bayan of Farsi is there. And I have done this for a reason. Because in future, the Babis, the Persians right now, once they get tired of Ayatollah, now they're going to Dr. Surush, another bigot. And then one day they see, okay, Baha'is are out there, they don't accept Bab, the best is for us to bring this Babi religion up and to make money. And they will. At that day, I've read their hand. This is why I'm preparing these books. That all of them is nothing but indication about the Baha'u'llah, and the entire revelations of the Bab is nothing but handicap. None of the book is completed. He purposely did not, and I've explained it exactly. Because he did not want any other way, his religion to become a reason for the people to use to contradict Baha'u'llah. So my knowledge and the fact that I have more than other scholars and more than universal laws of justice is good enough reason for you to know I'm the Elder of God. But look at my life. From the years 18, I have become Baha'i in Iran at age 18. Until then, around the time that I got excommunicated, 1995, because I'm working in Canada, I've written 9 Masnavi. It's about 2,000 pages, 2,000 lines in the poetry. that surpasses any Persian writings and poets, which we have literally 1 million books. Only Baha'u'llah has been able to produce in his poetry, that I explained to you before in his Blessed Masnavi, lines that they have 3 rhymes in line. For example, it says, اون بهاران لاله ها آورد برون وین بهاران ناله ها دارد کنون. کنون برون آرد دارد ناله ها لاله ها. All the 3 words from one part to the other part are rhyming. It's so rhythmic. It's very amazing how to do this. Nobody in Persian literature has been able to do that, except yours truly. I have done Masnavis just like Baha'u'llah. Not in content, of course, or the spirit, God forbid that, but in the construction. ای مرا ناقض بسی پنداشتند ساده را قامز کسی انگاشتند. Before I get even excommunicated. See again, انگاشتن, پنداشتن, بسی, کسی, قامز, ناقض. There's 3 rhymes in one line. And also as a prophecy. How many times they have called me a covenant breaker. They've considered a simple one to be complicated. That's in my poetry. But at that time I wasn't excommunicated. This happened in Kelowna, BC. I've written in Iran a line, God knows why, but I've written it. Let me see if I can remember. رشی از دریای عشقت ای بها بانگ شادی آفرین این خدا. A drop of the ocean of your love of Baha'u'llah is the voice of this God to you. Shadi creating God to you. Shadi means happiness creating God. I passed a few years from Iran. I'm in India. Revolution has happened. I'm in the spiritual assembly, National Spiritual Assembly. They are already in the garden. We're sitting. I was called to be one of the Baha'i teacher by Councillor Afshin for his first youth academy. I've written a book does this. I was only 24. As I'm sitting, suddenly one guy came to me and he said, hello. I said, hello. He said, my name is Salehian. I said, hello, sir. He said, I have a problem, only you can help. I said, how so? He said, I have a daughter, is going crazy. But I said, I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist. He said, no, it's only your job. I said, very amazing. How do you know me? He says, I just know. Okay, I don't know. I never asked him how you know it. Okay, brought the daughter. What's your name? Shadi. Exactly the word I written in my poetry. Bang Shadi Afarine in Khoda is the voice of these God, Shadi creating God. Okay, Shadi, 18. What happened to her? Oh, a Muslim boy was in love with her and we couldn't allow our Baha'i daughter go to this Muslim. The Muslim boy goes into the kitchen and hangs himself right down. My daughter goes into her house and he sees this boy hanging down with his tongue coming out of his mouth, and after that she's so scared that she can't even go to the toilet by herself. I said, and I'm supposed to solve this, eh? He said, I know you can. I said, you know, I know something about Baha'i faith, I can teach her. She accepted to come. We took her from New Delhi all the way to Madras, South Tamil Nadu with my wife, those days. And I started to teach her Book of Certitude. I taught her Arabic a little bit, you know, the book of some answered questions. And so after a month, I think, or a couple of months, she changed so much that took herself the ticket on the train. That would be amazing, but for me, it was only 17, 18 years old, 17 years old. Took it and went all the way to her dad. Mr. Saleh wrote a letter to me that, like Michelangelo, you carved out of a dead soul a new soul. And I'm only 24. We're in India with my ex-wife and one Baha'i teacher, Mr. Muttu Kumar. We went to help the Baha'is in India for the election of the local spiritual assembly. One guy came to me, he said, "Can you tell your God that we need water? There is a drought. Before you teach me." It's so poor. I said, "You know, I heard you, I agree with you. It's up to God." Me and my wife went an hour on the north for another place to help them to elect assembly. We came back in a matter of a few minutes. The hail came out of the sky this big. It was like a bombardment from the heaven. Where? In south in Tamil Nadu? That's really far away. Closer to equators. No, but it came in. Entire village was full of it. I said, you see, the guy asked for it. Just came in. We were 2 years ago in Montserrat, north of Barcelona, with my wife. The rain was so big, it was just basically not shower, it was just a whole water. It would be impossible to walk even for 1 minute. You would be completely wet everywhere. And the car was about 5 minutes. I told her, now I'm the elder of God. I'm going to order this rain to stop. She looked at me. I said, watch. Suddenly the rain stopped. Suddenly. I said, we have only 5 minutes. We have to go back to the car fast because we have no umbrella. We came from this Montserrat, you know, it's a church of some sort, to the car, and the rain immediately came back. And many stories like that. And I said that even to my writing. If universal laws of justice, honestly, they think they want a miracle, write it down. Ask for it. Only them, nobody else. This is not a Baha'u'llah, this is not a tear. But I'm that confident Baha'u'llah is behind me. This is very primitive, very unfair, very really stupid. But if they ask, and this is what they want, let's go. Because I know it will happen. Or I will say goodbye, I wasn't an elder, and I leave. So I've written those poetry, about 9 of them. There's all kind of stuff in it. But those who have read it, one of them is Dr. Ali Akbar Tabana. He's in Georgia, I believe. Well, he's still alive, I hope. 20 years ago, I was about to publish this book. I sent a copy of it to Dariush Wahidi in India. I paid him my money for the publication of the book, a couple $1,000. But then this situation came with Universal Laws of Justice. I called them and I told them to stop the book. Because now I cannot publish these books among the Baha'is because I am basically not a Baha'i according to them. I'm cast off. He was feeling bad in a way, and then he sent some books for me. Those books very important. It was on a photocopy of there. I found quite a few things in them that I would never otherwise could even imagine. One of them was about this Hadi Ghazvini, that he was not one of the elders. So, what do you want from an elder? I was 18 years old in the Baha'i faith. Ever since now, This what I'm telling you is the truth, okay? I cannot even go to the bathroom not thinking about it. I'm a thinking machine. 24 hours. There isn't a question that I cannot answer. They asked me a question in quantum mechanics. I said, wow, do you think there is any speed higher than the speed of light? I said, there is. I've said to you in one of my videos. I said, when I look at the second law of thermodynamics, the entropy increases of the matter, which means matter gets disintegrated in time. I say the same property when the matter is in the high velocity. When it goes by the speed of light, matter gets disintegrated and turns into particle. So time and velocity have the same effect. So as when you heat the matter, many million kelvins, like in the sun, it basically turns to very basic element. If you go further, as in Big Bang, you can see all the particles are in the form of plasma. They're no longer. So, if the heat and the time and the velocity does this to matter, the only projection of this is this. This is the speed of the particles in the material world, such as proton, such as photon. What if we speed up proton or any of these particles to a higher speed? Is it possible? Yes, it is. Why? Because a proton is made out of 6 quarks. We already saw the velocity breaks down the matter. So if we can say it is impossible for proton to have separate pieces as quark, then that's the end. But that's not the case. Murray Gell-Mann says it is not the case. There are quarks yet, other small particles, smaller particle in the proton. Therefore, with the higher speed, we are creating a situation where it's not electronic, it's quarkonic speed, which is possible, isn't it? This is how we as an elder in the realm, a different realm, this is how we understand things. I can tell you a whole lot of things in the physics. I can solve big problem. Ask me the questions. 40 years I've been 24 hours in the faith. I've written a masnavis that I challenge you to find one in Persian language now or the past. Anybody has created masnavi as deep as this. The content is so heavy, I challenge you even to understand it. Yet is written with a simple language. And its construction is miraculous. There's 3-4 rhymes in one line. And I'm only 18 years old. The last one was when I was 36 years old. I've written a couple of them for the Persians. Only the Masnavi of Baha'u'llah. Because I read that Masnavi and then I wrote this. Is directly connected to it. Is the baby of that Masnavi. Then I got excommunicated after I find out who I am and what I have to do. I've created for you 600 hours of videos like this. The knowledge in there is so huge. My friends, you need to think about it to know what it is, where is it coming from. And then all this secret and mysteries in the writing of the Bab, which Baha'is are scared even to publish the book because they have no answer to it. They don't know what this is. Except a couple of Baha'is, they have certain secrets, but not like the ones I told you right now. Those are the reasons why Baha'u'llah called me an elder. After all, elder is just a person. I'm not claiming that I'm superior to anybody. Honestly, I saw to Baha'u'llah I'm not, and he knows I'm not. Baha'u'llah says, I find myself as utter nothing when I compare myself to the one of the believers. This is God talking. This is the realm of a spiritual, where there is no up and down, just like in the physics, where everything melts down at the high intensity of the heat, of the velocity. In the spiritual realm, on the top, there is no differences. People in the front, they say, Your Majesty, the Queen. But if they pass the Queen to go behind in the house, you'll see they call him Mom. She's just a mother. Baha'u'llah is just a father for all of us. We're just as important as he is. We're his children. We're his clone. We are to be grown so he can associate with us. He's lonely. This is the reason of the creation. The loneliness of the high intelligent being who wants to associate. And he has created this revelation like a wormhole that you can spiritualize your soul in it. And then when you lose your body, you become metaphysic and closer to him yet. The simpler you become, the closer to him you are. He's actually not complicated at all. He is made out of the simplest element in the universe. He is so simple, so primitive, that it is in everything in the universe. Like the digit number 1, which is in all the infinite numbers. Every mathematical number is made out of 1. Not out of 2, all of them. Not out of 3, all of them. But for sure, all of them is made by just 1. And none of them are the ones. 2 really is not 1. Green really is not blue and yellow. All these colors in the spectrum, they're not white. But actually, they're all frequencies. Different frequency of one color of white. That's the God, the simple one. I know. So, we just have to listen to each other. Understand the spiritual realm. If somebody is higher, say, thanks God you're here. I can learn from you. Don't arrogate yourself against him. Oh, you're trying to say I'm big. So what can he do if he's big? What can lion do when he's sitting in a room and he just yowns and the rabbit on the side says, that's it, I'm dead. But lion is just yowning. There's no intention to kill the rabbit. It's the weakness that we have. If we're spiritual, if we have heart, there's no problem. What am I doing all of these things? It's just I want to make this old man of the universe happy. I called Baha'u'llah the granddaddy of the universe. He's just lonely. He just so much wants to see his revelation. It's working in the souls of the Baha'is. And then Baha'is, they don't understand their friend. They call him enemy. What have I said? What have I done? I just expressed what was in the writing. For that I should be called a kafir, an infidel, an untouchable? Honestly? Do you have brain? Do you have a heart? Think about it. It's not me. I'm 62 years old. The moment this mission completes, believe me, you will not find me in the planet. I will be changing my name and go somewhere else. My associates are not these big hotties, are arrogating themselves over old individuals, writing books, wasting the papers, achieving nothing. This is a spiritual mission. It's not a social mission. I should explain to you. The guy sending me $350,000 in my account to buy the house. His family told him, are you crazy doing this? I said, no, I know this man. For this guy who says he's an elder, where him to be has taken more than $1 million. with his brain to be where he is. He's not going to destroy all of his life for $350,000. Them don't understand. They said, you're crazy. He comes here, of course, his money is here, and I sold him one of my houses. Before I sell him, the house spent $100,000 more in 1 week. So he's tested, so was I. So somebody was telling me that, no, politely give the money back to him, tell him that you don't want to sell your house. I said, no, but I promised. Baha'u'llah says you have to keep your promise, especially to another Baha'i. Under no circumstances or change. He said, well, you know, that's why you're not rich. I said, no, that's why I don't want to be rich. I have enough. So what's the spiritual means? That's what it means. The two Baha'is, they are closer than brothers, than mothers. They're one. They trust each other. They don't get hurt by each other. They have so much trust. If they come to see their wife is sleeping in the bed with their friend, they would not doubt them. They say, I have to ask their questions before I even do that. Maybe somebody put a gun on their hand. And if they know they have made a fault, he forgives them. It's like your 5-year-old child. How much you love that one? It is how they are, the Baha'is. They should be together like this. That is when we use the Baha'i faith to spiritualize the world. Baha'i faith is a means, a highway, a fast way to make this world spiritualized. To do things in a different way. To get rid of so many bureaucracies. It's killing people and creating all this psychological problem. Okay, it seems I want to continue, but I think I'm done. These are the reasons I'm an elder. You want to believe it, believe it. You don't, it's up to you.